The shadow, by definition, is unconscious. It's what we don't see. And this is why it's so exciting and there's so much potential in it. But it's also kind of tricky, because how do we see? One way is looking at the layers of our personality. As we start to see through those layers, we get to the beauty of who we truly are underneath. Another way is to work with what we don't like around us in the world, what we judge or struggle with. Anything that's in our shadow bag that we see outside us, we're going to struggle with, because it's like we haven't fully owned that quality in ourselves, and it gets reflected back. The other thing that we can use, which I actually do a lot of in my work with men, is working with the archetypes, the Jungian archetypes, the warrior, king, magician, and lover. And this gives a kind of map of the different qualities within the psyche. And so talking about these different characteristics, which by the way have to do with the different core emotions, we can start to say, oh yeah, like there's an area in which I struggle, which I'm not so developed. And then we can begin this beautiful process of slowly and gently beginning to open the kind of shadow bag and take things out and discover what it is that's in ours, which is different for everybody. Then within this bag, there's a lot of energy contained within this. There's a lot of effort that we make in kind of holding these things back. So as we take things out of the bag, it's like our life force energy is coming back to us. And then we don't need to resist it, and we have more energy for ourselves. Otherwise, we're kind of fighting against it. So let me give you an example. So if, let's say anger, let's say my anger is in shadow and I grow up, and because my anger is in shadow, I look for ways when I'm younger of not being angry. And so maybe I'll be like more soft, more gentle, might not like go into martial arts or like play sports. I might become kind of more of a soft, gentle guy, and maybe I might get involved in Buddhism, or and my personality shapes around not being angry and not being fierce. And it's not like I have a problem with anger, it's just that it's not really me, yeah? And but my anger is in shadow. And what this means is that that fierce energy that I'm cut off from, even though I'm not aware of it, is kind of there in my shadow, and it plays out. So it may be that I have a very angry inner critic, and I'm very critical of myself, but I'm not aware of it. So then I don't feel powerful, I feel weak. But as I take my anger out of shadow, as I welcome back that life force energy, then I can reclaim my fierceness, I can reclaim my strength, and be more solidly confident about who I am in the world. So everything that's in that bag has a jewel within it. And so that's just a very, very quick, fast intro to shadow. And I also want to say something about how to work with it. And there's a few ways. And I want to start with shame, because the ways that we shape ourselves, it's like boom, 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 shaping ourselves into who we think we need to be. This becomes our personality. And shame is a big part of maintaining that personality and keeping those things that we think are bad out of our natural expression. So there's some collective collective qualities that get shamed, like anger and sexuality. And there are other things that individually we might shame within ourselves. But the first key actually to working with shadow, and it often gets missed actually in a lot of shadow work, is to look at what we're resisting, to look at the process of resistance, the process of shaming. Because although shame might just feel like an emotion in the body that we don't have any control over, shame is actually a mechanism. It's a combination of thoughts and feelings that comes in as a strategy to keep us away from being these ways that when we were young we learnt weren't good. So shame is like a key way, kind of before anything else, to work with when working with shadow. The other thing that is really important that you probably experienced if you were there on Sunday is around connection and regulation of the nervous system. So you probably spotted that on the workshop, right? We were really letting our nervous system settle. And the reason for this is because these things that are in shadow, they don't feel safe. So actually, in order to do this work, the kind of prerequisite to it is to having a settled, calm nervous system. We can't do shadow work if our nervous system isn't settled. So that's the first step. The first step is to calm the nervous system, and a key within that is connection. And you probably got this from, we were using connection, we were using our little pod to allow ourselves to come back into connection. And this is another really important key, because what's there in shadow, that stuff in our shadow bag, it's like we've taken little bits of ourselves and they've been put away in the dark. And so no wonder, having not seen the light of connection and consciousness, no wonder when they come out they're a bit skew-whiff. It's actually like those parts in there, they're like really lonely and they need some connection. So part of what we're doing in shadow work is bringing them back into the field, and a group field really supports that. And so actually that's a big part of the work that I do, and it's a big part of Living Tantra 1. So Living Tantra 1 is a lot about that. It's about seeing the places where we haven't been loved and basically being loved in them by a small group. And then once it's like the group provides that holding space that we didn't have when we were younger, and then we can love those places ourselves. So connection is really important. And then the third thing is building awareness. So directly, there's processes where we can actually use in order to really see what is happening within our psyche. And wow, this is amazing. When we see what's playing out, it's like that provides a real key, a real insight that allows a massive amount of transformation. And the fourth thing that I want to point to, which is really the key, is seeing how whatever it is that is within us, our personality, is playing out all of the time. Even in the watching, as you're watching me speak and the thoughts you're having in this video, even in me as I'm speaking, my core personality patterns, they're here, they're right now, and they're present, and they can be seen. And when they're seen, then there's freedom. So this includes our resistance. And this is really important because, like, take me for example. When I started doing shadow work, I was like, right, okay, I'm going to get myself sorted. I'm going to find like all of the places within me that are underdeveloped, and I'm going to bring them out of shadow, and then I'm going to become. What I missed at that point in my development is that actually there was a personality trait playing out in me. That was actually, there's an unconscious level, you could say my shadow was driving my personal development. So in order to allow this change, it's not like we need to like do something in a way where we're bulldozing through our patterns. We can see the way that the resistance is happening, and by starting to see that and very gently making space for it and understanding, oh, like all of this resistance, all of this way that I've shaped myself into the way that I thought that I needed to be in order to be loved, that's totally innocent. It's just the unconscious patterning of a child trying to be who they thought they needed to be in order to be loved. And when we see that and the innocence of it and we hold ourselves in it, then there's this kind of softening where the patterns begin to release. It's like, for me, it's like there's nothing more beautiful than seeing people come alive, and to be around people who are ready to make that opening it's really wonderful. If you want to really dive into this, then the next thing is embracing the tantric shadow. So I'll also put a link to that, and there's a whole video, quite a long video about that as well.